Oh, it did it. It did it. There we go. I don't know why I did it. Well, this is typical me. This is typical me. Going live Sunday afternoon. Absolutely beautiful day here in Central Texas. Had a wonderful opportunity this week to go do some wild collecting on some bonsais here locally. I really encourage everybody to kind of, when they start with this hobby, start local. Some of the best places to walk if you can't get some rough terrain is like fence lines, and that's where a bunch of these came from that we're going to kind of go over. And pretty standard, the dogs start barking once we go live, so that's life. But and so I think I'm going to kind of change things up a little bit today and not necessarily dive into this big tree right here, and I'm going to explain why. Because what I want to do is actually showcase some of the wild collection pieces that I've gotten so far, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what you can do in your own backyard. Walk down the street, any hedgerow or fence line that has some old gnarly tree that's been cut down a few times. Now it's got a trunk thicker than your thumb, or maybe even a couple fingers. And so some of these I really just had the opportunity to walk up, and they were in really dry clay soil, so it wasn't that hard for me to reach down and grab and rip them right out of the ground. So I didn't even have to do that much other than grab them and go. And so this is kind of a solo gig today, so if things don't work out well, or if we have mistakes, things fall down, sun decides it wants to flip sides on us all of a sudden, well, there's more problems than that if we have that happen. So what I want to kind of do is go through the bonsais that I have collected wild. All of them have gone into used pots with used dirt. What I did is I actually collected some of the dirt. I bought buckets with me, and I collected some dirt off of the forest floor, and just kind of raked up small piles and put them into the 5-gallon bucket that I have here, and then mixed that with some topsoil or potting soil from Walmart, especially for the wild harvesting. See, when I'm out there, I'm not digging more than a couple inches to get, let's say, taper roots. I only need a couple taper roots. It doesn't need much. I don't need much. But what I do is once I get them out of the ground, I'll wrap the root base with wet paper towels, and I'll squeeze it real tight, so the root base never dries out. And that's really important. It never dries out. And then I'll hit it a few extra times with some water, and then wrap it with some Walmart bag that I'm carrying in my backpack. And I have this backpack right here, just so you guys can kind of see. It's like this big duffel bag, and so I've got, you bring your paper towel, you've got some water, and you've got some Walmart bag. And this is, people have been kind of giving me equipment to start this hobby, which is kind of fun. This is a gift, which is cool. I already broke it because I'm a douche. But this is a great tool for wild harvesting. I don't have to bring this, 2 tools in one are always good when you're out in the field. As I stab myself in the face with this damn thing. Already, this is going good. Another thing that I got, which was really cool, that I've got to say thanks to the landlord here. She came up and she said that she never really uses this, but I've already used this. I used this twice today to get in and dig out close enough to the roots where, I thought maybe the raking part or the shovel part was, it was just too close to the bark, and I didn't want to tear up the bark because I'm already ripping this thing out of the ground. So this thing, I got in there, the little point on the side right there made it real easy to get in there. And then, I really didn't have to use this much because I was carrying some other equipment with me, the loppers and stuff that I can cut big branches. So and what I want to do is I'm going to go over the plants that I've got, and then we're going to wire up some of them. We're We're gonna do it live here. So you got a live Sunday afternoon, beautiful Texas afternoon, Sunday afternoon, live wiring of some wild-caught trees. And so without further ado, I'm going to head over there. Hopefully nothing else goes wrong. I'm going to step off to the side, guys. Just be patient. I'm kind of winging this by myself. Looks kind of good. I guess we're just gonna go with this. All right. So, you know, this is gonna get. I'm gonna do a lot of talking. So, okay. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is, I had got this at Walmart and said that this would be the weekend that we were going to do this tree. And this, I think, is a whole hour episode tree. It's complex, and there's a lot to this that will help me teach you guys how to identify, you know, where's north on the tree already, because it's sat somewhere already. So I can teach you how to identify that on here. So this itself is a whole show, and what I wanted to do is kind of go over the fact that, you know, with very little money, you can go out into the wilds, and instead of spending $35 on this, you can get 6 or 8 or 9 or 10. It just depends on your commitment level to start your bonsai stock, right? So now, I'm going to kind of jump in and out of frame just so y'all can see this, but you can see how I have like wet paper towel, and so let's pull the first bonsai over, and I'm gonna set it on the spinning table right here. All right, looks like it's pretty center. So this is an absolutely beautiful tree, and what we've got is we've got some old indent right here where looks like a branch got ripped off. This one obviously got ripped off. So, you know, as I spin this, you can see the flow that's coming. So this is gonna flow as it turns, and I'm gonna pull all this up. So some of the first ones I put up here so we didn't have to quite wire them. We're just kind of working through them, and so I see certain things that I don't like already, so I'm going to come back in here, and I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll review this later. This is a work in progress, but that is too much. And that is too much. So you can see how now what I've got is I've got an oblong triangle, right? So this is going to be, eventually I'll let this grow out. Obviously this plant has to survive this, the transporting for me. Literally, okay, so this was another one of those that was just in clay on a side of where there was a fence line, and I was able to just literally rip this out of the ground, and it had enough 3 or 4 taper roots that I felt comfortable soaking it in some root hormone for about 10 minutes while I got the pots ready. All right. So you can see already that we've got a great stock. The tree has flow, right? And it's gonna flow like this. So I still want, yeah, so I still feel like we've got a good, you know, start. And here's the thing, guys, like, because I wild collected this, oh my goodness, I killed the damn thing. Like, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but this is wild caught. So this has, you know, a half a dozen roots on it. I got down far enough to get them. That's the goal, is to get down far enough around the root base when you're wild collecting so that you can start getting the taper roots. This is going to be an absolutely beautiful tree when she starts to fill in. What we're going to do is we're going to get, you know, we're going to get pads that'll start to develop right here, and then of course this whole head will develop up here. So this is really a, you know, a 2 or 3 year project in the making right now. It's essentially just a stick in mud, and we'll see what happens with this one, and we're going to move on to the next. So, all right, so let me move some stuff off of here. So this is one of my favorites actually, and of course the table's not level, so it's gonna naturally move. So I wild collected this. This was another one of those that I was able to almost rip right out of the ground. I didn't need to do much to it. Just kind of happened naturally. Sometimes I feel like when that happens, it's meant to happen. The trees just kind of let go, and you're in charge, you know. And so what we're kind of doing at this point is I've given an initial trimming when I brought it back home, but you know what we don't want are overlapping. See how these are overlapping, and I want to get rid of those and promote promote good growth. And so again, you can kind of see, and maybe I will do an exhibition at like the Rockdale, one of the Rockdale, the farmers market. I'll bring some of these down so that we can look at them. And so, this one really has, I don't have to do a lot of modification to the tree. It already has a good base. I don't know if you guys can see that from way back there, but it has a beautiful scar mark here where it lost a branch and it's healing over. Right here you can see where it's got dead wood. I'll peel that off. Won't do it right now because I'm just kind of reviewing these, but you can see how this has got a great opportunity to start a pad. We'll push this out, and then this will start over here, and of course I want this to grow like this. And you can see the flow of the tree already, where it's going to come up and head out and come up like this, and then I'll peak it. So the reason I've got it flat right now, because that's how I had to cut it down to get it out. Literally carrying these trees wrapped up in paper towel in Walmart bags in the backpack, with it smacking me in the back of the head. It was awesome. So, I at this point, this is a 2-year project. This tree right here is a 2-year project. Sitting in this pot, that's a 2-year project. So this already has buds. I'm hopeful that the buds are going to give the tree enough of a boost. They're pretty much solar panels, so we'll see how this goes. Again, if it dies, like at that point, maybe what I'll do is I'll deadwood it out because it dies. And one of the things that I want to talk about later is some of the tools that I've gotten off of Temu. Whoa, Temu. So because I'm dealing with wood, obviously I got to re-up my wood carving tools that I haven't had. It's like $3.99. It's crazy. It's crazy. So we're going to talk about that at the end here, because I think it's important before we start getting into like the major projects with that one tree that I started off with. It's too much. It doesn't allow us to kind of get some basics in. And when I start wiring some of these trees, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. And there's a couple of them that we're gonna do, which I think are gonna be fun. But the idea is that we've got trees that, see, we're gonna get buds off of those, off of that, off of that, off of that. We'll get buds off of that. And it's already got a great base. So sometimes, you can just, if you do a good enough job of picking good, hunting for good product, good stock, good prey, essentially the bonsai prey. In the next couple of years, this thing is going to turn into an absolutely beautiful piece of work of art, and it'll be all headed out like this, and it'll look great. And I think it'll be a good auction piece, honestly, if I put it up for auction. I love hearing the birds in the background. So let's bring this big mamby jamby in here. This is a big girl right here. So this was another one of those that, is obviously, this is I like the bigger bonsais. You guys are going to realize that I like the bigger bonsais. Most of us still have a life, guys. So the smaller the bonsai, the more you have to put into it. So instead of coming out and watering this like every other day, and making sure that it's getting the appropriate amount of shade and just taking good care of it, I don't have to mess with this, because once the root base is established, the root base is established. But this thing has an absolutely beautiful base right here. You can kind of see it. I don't know if you guys can see it with the sun, but it's got that huge scar right there, and this was a really, really good piece. This was one of those that I literally grabbed kind of like this, and I rocked back and forth because it was on the edge next to where a fence was. and then there was like a little tributary, water tributary. So this something as big as this, I literally just lopped off these two pieces, which is going to be great. Again, this is going to head out, and this will eventually head out. But the fact that this is easily a 5 or 6 year piece of product that I didn't have to grow, that nature kind of provided for me. The only thing I got to do is put enough soil around it that it's happy with. And that's one of the reasons why when I go out and I wild collect, I like to generally try to collect soil when I'm out. Because, you know, there's already a lot of microbes. If you remember the last video, we talked a lot extensively about the microbes, the mycorrhizal fungal growth on the roots. So getting live soil from the forest to mix in with your potting soil or your sand, or your sandy loam, you might add some sphagnum moss to kind of help with the roots. This was all really kind of 50-50, but it was sandy forest soil, so it was easy for me to just kind of rake up sections so I didn't leave divots or anything, and get a 5-gallon bucket of living forest soil, and that I think is really important for these guys. So you can see this is going to be a big bonsai, but this is as tall as it's going to get because I'm just going to let it head out right here. It'll kind of bush out like a big pom-pom, and this will be it. And so again, if this doesn't survive, I'm actually looking forward to showing you guys how we would carve out dead wood. So if this dies or doesn't make the transplanting, as sad as I'll be, because this is going to be a beautiful bonsai, what we'll do is we'll do a more intimate and intricate show where a little bit closer, and then I'm going to show you how I would strip the bark and that we would carve this out with the carving tools that I showed you, so that we could turn this into a beautiful piece of carved artwork. And then I would just hit it with some stain, maybe some natural resin stain, just to kind of keep in tune with it, and let it dry. Hit it with some polyurethane. It's done. This is a beautiful tree. It's done, all carved out, and it didn't make it. So, but I'm hoping that it has enough of a root base on it, and it's really super thick. So there's a lot of stored energy in there. That a lot of these plants, they should do okay. And again, so what, you know, I don't know if you guys can see these, but so you can see that when it comes up and it loops up like this, that's kind of what we're looking for. If we're gonna have straight trees, you know, the straight up and down trees, it's because that's a specific style that we're going for. But most of them we want carved or curved, and this is a perfect example of a perfectly curved bonsai that comes up, curves down this way, and then shoots up. Okay, so, you know, another standard collection piece that's not hard to kind of see why you would pick it, you know, with this coming around and up. It's already got some dead wood on it. That's important. I know the sun is going down, so just kind of wanted to run through these. Again, this one is you can tell it's still moving around in here. I'm gonna have to probably, this one I might have to go in and hit it with some rocks, but absolutely beautiful. Again, you know, you can tell that it comes up, does this, goes up, and so this is kind of what we're going for when we're looking for wild. It's already kind of bushed out, and then all we really need to do is just help it along. So, you know, if you get crisscross branches like this, you got to come in and take them out. They just can't be there. You can't have crisscross branches. Most of this, again, is such a great product already that, you know, I don't have to do much work to it. And so, you know, it's important, again, to kind of get them so that this one I got just as kind of an example. What I want to do is show you guys all about the dead wooding right here and the dead wooding out here, and show you how we're going to carve. There's an opportunity to do some dead wood here, and this is already, again, it's already bushed out. I don't have to do much. All I've got to do is just for this first year is just make sure it doesn't die, and that's really kind of the biggest challenge with these. Is just make sure they don't die. Again, if you do a good job, they will they'll do amazing. This is one of my favorites, and this is going to take some work right here. So I've got to look at the dead wood on this already. Look at that tree. Look at the shape. It comes out. It flows back. This is all going to head out. Very, very nice. And it's already done a lot of the work for me. So here in a little bit, if I know, if it's going to survive, this one especially, I'll come in and I'm going to wire some of these so that they're spread out more evenly. I know the sun's going down, and I'm going to lose light, so I kind of want to get to it. But you can see how with just a little bit of walking along fence lines, this has got to get wired out here. Look at all that's dead wood already established. The tree already clearly can do it. And then, so this will get pulled out like this a little bit so it's standing more straight up. And I think that if this tree survives, I think this will be a showstopper. I think that'll be one of your showcase trees. You just kind of, everybody loves it. Everybody knows it. That's going to be the tree. Okay, so let's get into this bad girl right here. So this is what we would call a cascade. And so this, as you guys can clearly see, let me move this over here, you can clearly see I cut it so that it would never touch, even if it's sitting. It's close, right? But so this is what we call a cascade, and this cascade is going to eventually see all of this will remain open, and I'll probably deadwood a bunch of this, especially this right here, like deadwood down here, so that I would like deadwood all of this, leave a strip underneath coming up here that feeds all of this. This is an absolutely beautiful cascade. And what we'll do is, if you can see those right there, what I'm going to eventually do is stick a stick up in here and just kind of jam it up there, and we're going to move these apart. I do keep looking at this, and I see where we're going to get, shoots off of this. But this is going to be an absolutely beautiful cascade, and so you can already see how it's going to peak right here. We'll get our triangle, what we're looking for, and then it'll cascade down. And once this is all filled up, with dense foliage, we get our pads. This will probably go for a couple $100 for sure. And again, this is probably a 2 or 3 year project. So, moving quickly, attempting to move quickly, I wanted to pull this guy up here and just show you how quickly picking the right product. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. We don't have to do much to it. I'm gonna pull some wire out real quick. So what I want to kind of show you guys is, so right here, this is going to be our north. Remember how I said you have to find your north? So I have a branch right here, and I don't want to get rid of that branch. I like the lower branch. I want it to stay. I don't like that it's in line with this, but beggars can't be choosers. So one of the ways that you figure out how to what wire you're going to need, and so I'll pull this out and show you, like, I've got some wire here. So if you push on it, see how I push on that and that bends the wire? That ain't the wire. Okay, so what you got to do is you can keep going up, and what you're looking for is the wire that doesn't get bent but starts to push its way up against that. So I'm just kind of showing you, like, so I've run in here, and we've got some other ones. Again, I bought these, I think it was $12 or something for a set of this. And well, I thought I had the end of that. What happened? Oh, there it is. And so, sometimes it's kind of hard to know what wire, right? So again, if that bends against that, so we come all the way out to the biggest wire that I have, because it makes sense, because it's the lowest, it's one of the lowest branches, right? So I am going to actually, I'm glad that turned. So you see this right here, and you see this branch right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this out, right? And I want to be able to make sure that I've got enough for both. Right, so there we go. So, so to me, just gonna kind of do this. All right. So remember how I've got these two branches right here. Okay, and you see how they're crosswise right here. So I can use that to grab this. Right now I might have cut it a little bit. Well, I may have started it too long on one side, which is nice. You can kind of go back through with this. Yeah, it's a little bit, it's just cut a little bit, which is fine. So I want to come out here, and I always like to face the wires up. And so this one has a couple of branches in here. We got to keep it from catching the other branches. And you'll see as you start to get good at wiring these, you're gonna see how I don't want to mess with the shoots. I want to produce pads with this. Okay, so what I need to do is just spread the tree out a little bit and allow for that process to develop. Okay, so now I've got these, right, and I just kind of, well, maybe maybe I'll kind of bend it down, and we want to kind of bend it down a little. Okay, and then so we're gonna find the next row, and so I don't want it right on top. That one's got to go. That one's right on top. We can't have them right on top, guys. See, when you're looking down at, you have to have cross branches. So like these are my next cross branches, okay? Because these are going this way. This one's got, I just can't do it. It's got to go. All right, so we're gonna stretch that back out. And this is moving around on me. I just planted this today, guys, so we're gonna stretch that back out and kind of bend them down just a little bit. All right, clearly we're gonna need to use the same wire. These are new, guys. I got them off of Amazon for like $12.50 off of the kits, and so that's really ideal. Just if you're just starting out, there's no shame in your game if you just go, hey, I'm gonna buy kits, and so again, I'm gonna be a little bit more conscious. Usually go a little bit past the branch, and then I'm gonna come up here, okay, and I know about how long I need that wire. So this way you'll get really good at knowing exactly how much wire you're gonna need while you're wiring these trees. See how I come in, and now you see how this branch is up, right? And you're gonna see in a second how we're gonna fold this branch down, give it a twist, and so you can see how the branch, I don't know if you can see it, but the branch kind of does this. So we need to make sure that we come right up underneath that bend, because I want full compliance by this branch. Okay, so we're gonna do this one. We'll come over here, and I haven't trimmed these branches at all. I literally just got this today, dug this one up, same thing. Just happened to be along a fence line that I could walk along, and it just screamed that it was ready to be a work of art. And so I picked it to do that, and you can see how I'm working it through here. I know it's kind of hard to see sometimes because the foliage is still there, but and then what I'm going to do is just so you can see, okay, and we just do it slow. We let the branches kind of go down. All right, see how that's kind of bent, and we just kind of bend the branch down. This one's already twisted. I don't have to do much with that. And again, this will all get, I won't touch this tree probably for another you know, like I said, probably another 2 years. But you see how I've got cross sections? I've got sections going like this. Let's pull that up a little bit. Let's just kind of see the branches going down. You know, they make the tree look old, like it's been here for a while. You know, it's got some character. It's got some age to it. And this one right here, so, you know, these are bigger, so I'm going to go, all right, so, let's do this right here. All right, so I'm going to come way down here, and then, you know, in the interest of time and time light, because I've got another project I really want to show you guys, I'm going to come down here. Let's hook. We're going to hook it right here. All right, guys. And so I want to come in and hook this right here. And then come around. Okay. And so ideally what I want to do is get in with these bigger branches as close to the bark as possible. See how I'm feeding these other branches through. And I'm just kind of coming down through here. Again, I just cut a little too much. That's okay. And then we just bend it down. Okay. And so we've got another one up here, but this is going to require a little bit different. So now I get to kind of move on. So some of these others, like for this one over here, we can use a smaller one. This one I think will work just fine. I'm going to use this one. And again, I want to come through here. Some of this I may cut off later, so I want to give me the choice to do that. Come in, all right. And again, if this tree doesn't make it, it doesn't make it. I unwind the wire and I use it on a different tree. It just, that's kind of how it goes, you know. And so all right. So we're going to So we've got this right here, got that. Let me just kind of line everything up. Okay, this one is right here. And you guys will see, so this is gonna actually be, I'm gonna bend it, and this, well, I could, yeah, actually, I think we've got our pads. You can see now that we've got our tree pads. See, that one needs to be done. So okay. So there we go. There we go. Actually, let's go this way. All right, and then so we've got a small one over here that I need wired, so I'm going to do that real quick just so I can show you guys. You know, again, these are different size wires, and you know, different branches. We could go bigger on some of them, but you know, there's no reason to waste your wire if you don't have to. Just use the appropriate wire. These kits are cheap enough that it's not going to be hard to just use the appropriate size wire for your learning experience, so that you know, when you start working on more complex projects, you already have that experience. See how I've got that? I want okay, so again, then we're going to come up. See, I don't want okay. There we go. There we go. Come on. And see how I can drop that down. See how that gets dropped down. So with bonsai, you know, one of the things that we really have to understand is that dead space or empty space is really important to the entire tree. And so if you don't take account in for dead space, you lose the opportunity to express a hardship or a hard life, because a young bushy tree doesn't really tell you of a hard life, right? So a tree that looks like it's gotten its ass handed to it tells you that it's had a hard life and that it deserves some attention. And a bonsai artist wants to make these trees look, centuries older than they are. So, the idea is you can see a picture even before the tree itself may see that picture, right? So, so here I am, I'm working a very small branch, and I just want to fill in dead space, okay? So I've got that right there. And so some of these smaller branches, here again, we're creating pads. So you can see right here, I've got a pad. Right in here is going to be a nice pad, and so we've got branches that look at that. So, and then we got that, and these smaller ones up here. So again, I'm going to go quick because I want to get to this other project. But you guys can kind of see how I can take a plant that I just literally got out of the woods and turned it into, or attempting to turn it into, a living sculpture that you could potentially buy from me one day, for instance, and be like, this is the one that you did that show on, and I'd be like, yep, and he'd be like, sold. That's the one I want. But you see how tiny of the wire that I'm using and to shape this branch. I'm just trying to be super gentle, and I come back in, loop it over the top, push it down, right? And so now I've got these to do, and then that to do, and we're gonna be done here in a second. So this one is really just still, because it's so young, it's gonna be easy to it'll be easy to shape now, and then just kind of let the foliage fill in, and we'll have a beautiful tree, very artistic expression of something of you. So this is, the tree, if the tree doesn't agree with your artistic expression of it, then it is just gonna die on you, to be honest with you. So, for now, what we've got is, we've got a very pretty tree that, just needs a little bit of trimming so that you can see. Well, that's going to be a pad. Let's do that so you can see. All right, so this will all fill in. This will all fill in. I've got this right here. And sometimes, the wire does move on you. So, but these branches are young, and so you can, you'll have to go back a few times and then that's perfect right there. So, this is kind of done. This is let's peek that. Let's peek that. That's my new peak, and these will all kind of get trimmed a little bit here in a second. Guess we can do it real quick right now. Okay. See how these two are already touching, and that's great, man. That's great. So again, I'm gonna over the next couple of days, I'm gonna come in and we'll just slowly keep bending the tree back, and that way that we have some control over how it's managing itself. So that's really important. Is you need to set the tone originally with this. And then after a while, it just kind of gets it, and it knows what. I think that these figure it out pretty quick, especially if you're taking care of it. They figure it out pretty quick that somebody cares about it, because somebody's taking care of it. This wasn't that the soil, this is a whole different level of soil that we're talking about. And so, and then, so again, as these, over the next couple of months, we'll start, you know, so that's, you know, that's a treat right there. So we'll do, kind of give it a nice mist. Give it a nice mist real quick. Just kind of say thank you for letting me do that. I'm going to cut off some of this excess. And there you go, guys. All right, so we've got us a basic tree. Okay. Now, for the big kahuna. All right. So, this tree, guys, is about to go through a wild transformation. All right. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start cutting all of this off. Okay. So, right up to here, where all of it comes off. Okay. So, all right. So. What I've got here is basically grass, and so I'm going to pull some grass out, and I need to get it wet. What I'm going to do, we're going to do a wild transformation with this tree. You guys are going to see. Let me see. Do I need maybe a little bit more? You don't want to use too much. You don't want to have. It doesn't cost that much to put this. This is literally just grass. Excuse me. This is this dried grass that you would use normally for, where'd that bottle go? There it is. So you would normally use this for decorations, you know, but it's just strips of grass, right? And I found that on Amazon for, I don't know, like $6, $6 or $7. And that's all it really is. And I just want to kind of get it wet. And you guys are going to see here in a second how awesome and how radical you can be with your bonsais. All right, so let's pull out Big Bertha here. All right, so Big Bertha is this really nice aluminum wire that I have, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert Big Bertha as far in as I can. Okay, sign it in. Okay, and then from right there, I'm coming low. Okay, so this is just Big Bertha and me are going to be wrapping this tree right up to a certain point, and then you guys are going to see why I need this grass. And I'm hoping you guys can see me. I'm hoping the light will adjust for y'all. And so, all right, so we're here. Now remember, this just got replanted again today. I'm going to probably replant it. So this is kind of an extreme thing. You know, you have to be patient. And again, let me see if I can move y'all a little bit closer. Let me see if this will help. Sorry. All right, well does that help? Where are we? All right, so sorry guys, like I said, this is just kind of one of those things. Next time I'll make sure I have enough lighting out here when the sun goes down. So what we've got here is a major transformation that I want you guys to see. And we're going to go all the way up. This grass, you're like, what are you doing, Neil? What are you doing? So I'm going to pull out strips of this grass, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in right here, okay? I'm going to wrap this around so it catches it. And then we're going to start wrapping this branch. And the reason why is going to be evident pretty quick here, because I'm about to bend the absolute hell out of this tree. Okay, so let's come in here. And so again, the grass is to help with what I'm about to do to the tree, right? So it kind of buys me some play in this tree. Okay, so now here's where I'm gonna get, as I about take out, oh, there it is. Hey, I showed up. All right, so we need to get a much tighter bend. All right, a little bit tighter bend. Okay, okay, okay. Well, let's do this. Let's just kind of keep going since we're bending it out. All right, guys. All right. So I'm glad that this, you know, the camera adjusted. It's just me out here right now, and you know, I'm going all the way up to the top. This is crazy, I know. What's he doing? And so what I'm gonna do is let me get a little bit more wrapped right here. And so you see how I'm like supporting this branch. Okay, so I've taken this tree and I've done a radical bend on it. Look at that. All right, so now let's, okay, look at that. So I've completely bent the tree, and so I need a better wrap job right here. Okay, so now that I've bent the tree, I'm gonna go this way. As I'm caught up in this, I forgot there's like this little hook on it. Okay, so you guys see me. All right. So let's do that, and then I want it to wrap back around. Look at that. I just completely bent that, and so what we need to do is kind of come through here. So, you guys just saw me completely bend a tree, and now I am setting up how it's going to grow. And so this grass will eventually just kind of, it'll go away, you know. And so, in better lighting, I'll take some pictures, but, you know, we've got to in here and clean this up, right? So anything that gets in the way now of the curve has got to go. Ooh, this is gonna look good, guys. This is gonna look good. Damn, this is gonna look good. Okay. All right, let's give that. All right, so some of this is gonna need to get rewired. And I'm gonna do this. I know it looks super weird. Like I've got this grass hanging off this tree that I completely just bent. But guess what? If this doesn't work, I didn't pay anything for the tree. So, you know, the opportunity that I just took this completely straight up tree and just went and then twisted it around. See how you can see now? It's completely twisted, right? So, you know, and this is just an aluminum rod that somebody said I could use. And now, you know, now I have set up a dramatic change in this tree. you know, that tree was just standing up, but now it is bent completely over, and I'm hoping that maybe you can see it. Like, now it comes down and it flows, right? Right. So what we're going to want is we're going to want to wire these so they do this. So let's start there. This one right here is fine. I don't have to touch it. And then this one will go out like that. So let's do that one. And I'm going to go until I don't think you guys can see me anymore. I think that that's only fair for the project. When it's better lighting, maybe tomorrow, I'll take some pictures of it so you guys can see, you know, that I was able to take something that was completely wild caught, bend the shit out of the bark or the tree bunk, almost doing a complete 90-degree bend in it. Like, it was a straight up tree, guys. And now we're going to, you know, just do this. I think I'm gonna have to come in and do this anyway, but let's just keep moving around. So, you know, it looks kind of messy right now, and that's the great thing about bonsai is it can be messy, but in the end it can be so beautiful. And that's really is finding, you know, that's kind of what this is about, guys, is finding your harmony and making something astounding. You know, and this isn't something that you're gonna do. This isn't gonna be done tomorrow. There's nothing about this project that's gonna be done tomorrow. You know, because we're just starting. Now, my goal obviously is I want this tree to survive. So, you know, once I'm done wiring it up, and again, I want to wire in between the foliage so I don't hurt the foliage. Okay? And then I move the wire. The wire doesn't, I don't move the branch. Okay? Until I'm ready to move the branch. And then that way we're not stressing out the branch. We're stressing out the wire. Look at that. Okay? So we'll do this. We'll do this. Well, let me see here. Yeah, we can do that. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay. All right, so let me see. Okay, here it is. I was like, where did that one size go? I need it for this branch. So, I mean, if you come back later and you go, I don't like that, and you know the great thing about this is you can redo it. So obviously there's only so much the tree will take from you, but if you're really good, after a little while, you won't, you know, once this tree's formed, it'll look like it happened naturally. And so now I'm just gonna make sure that I don't take out too much foliage. Remember, I move the wire. I don't necessarily move the branch. It may look like I'm moving the branch, but I'm actually moving the wire. Okay, so like, see how here I'm grabbing the branch and I'm just going around and around, and I don't want to. These are all future pads, guys. Okay, so these are all future pads. And so let's just come out like this. And so we've got another sweeping branch. See how now we've got two sweeping branches. And since I've got this one's gonna be a bigger one. Let's do that. Okay. So again, we're just gonna kind of come around and try to catch it. I try to catch it so that when I spin it, it holds itself. Okay. Again, just move the foliage out of the way. Okay. Alright, so I've gotten some pretty good feedback on maybe doing that. See how I bent that so it's kind of wind swept. It looks like it's getting, like, it'll come up. So I've got this and then this. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do with that one. So that's another, that's gonna be another curve, another windswept. See, this is like a windswept, a dramatic windswept tree that's been sitting on the side of the hill, just getting its butt handed to it every year. I mean, here in Texas, the worst it's got to deal with is the sun. But see, now I've got that. So see how I try to bend it without hurting the branch, and then I can come back through, and it doesn't want to do it all of a sudden. Okay, there we go. So this branch has to be a sweeping branch too, so I've got to come in and I've got to grab it. Okay, and so okay, so the reason I did this, guys, is I really wanted you to be able to see, how much drama you can put into a plant you just picked up today. And so I'm going to have to fix that. See, I didn't get it caught up right. There we go. And that's what's good about having these, is you can just come in and grab them and pull them over. So, all right, so with that, I know now I need to stretch this branch out like that. Okay, so I've got my sweep, my dramatic. This is gonna, yeah. All right. So, yeah. I mean, you guys just saw me take a tree. And so this is just, I'm gonna let it hang because that's what I wanted to do. And there's not much, so yeah, this is beautiful. That came out a lot better than I expected. So let me, all right, I'm just grabbing the phone off of the stand, folks. So I want you guys, to be able to look at this. Let me walk over there. Okay, so I want you guys to be able to see how I've got it right here, and I'm coming all the way up, and then we do a hell of a dramatic turn. Okay, so then we do I took this and I bent it. See, and now I've got, if you can maybe see it, now I've got a tree that I could probably do a little bit more bending to, but I'm holding this, and so there we go. Okay, so that is windswept, and then it comes around, and you can see how, like, remember, this tree was just standing straight up, and then I took it and I bent it down like that, and then we come down and then we sweep in, so it's right over top of, eventually it'll be like, let me do that right now. There we go. Okay, yeah. So, yeah. And then we just kind of, that's doing crazy bonsai. So the reason I put the grass on here is because the grass protects it. Because that bark kind of broke a little bit while I was doing, some crazy stuff. But So yeah, guys, that's literally me going and pulling one of these out of the ground. And I happen to have some stuff around. This was donated for me to use, and I thought that, you know, this would be an absolute spectacular. Let's bend that down. And, you know, these I'm probably going to wire up, but I don't want to keep you guys on the line too much longer. But these I might wire up so that they kind of, you know, they come out, or they'll come out and then kind of do that sweeping motion so that everything follows, you know, that sweeping motion. Because that's ideally the way that the wind is going, you know. So this one I might move. See how I just kind of play with it, and I'm like, well, let's just kind of, you know, let's move that up there and then bend it, and now I feel like that looks a little bit better. So you have this sweeping motion, and then it goes all the way down and comes back around. Look at that. Look at that. Now imagine when this fills all up, guys. So this is you know, this is kind of a great hobby. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of patience, guys. You know, this project that I've just started now, this is, you know, this is going to be, yeah, see, and then I can really get the branch how I want it when it comes off. So if I wanted to sweep out, see, and then when that, see these two right here, and then that one coming down. This is absolutely beautiful, guys. And so what I might start doing is doing, like, I don't know, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you'd like me to do some live stuff at, like, maybe the Rockdale Marketplace on Saturdays, I can always come out. See, all this stuff is going to have to be wired up with that small stuff. But it's getting dark out here, guys. And, you know, I just kind of wanted to be able to, that's going to have to go. Let's do that right now. So, that's got to go. All right, so. And, well, let me see here. Well, I guess if I let's bring that back up. No, that's got to go. Goodbye. So, and then that kind of gets set on that, and then you can see how this is going to flow down like this, you know, and then I'm going to get some wire on these guys so that, you know, if they flatten out, like I want them to flatten out, okay? And then that creates my pad. And so, see how this is already too long for the pad. So I got to cut them back so they can't overflow the pad, okay? So, you know, and this just gives them an opportunity to come back from it. See how I've got all that. See, I've got all of this. This I might wire up a little bit so it kind of gives me my pad, and it comes all the way down. See all that new growth? That might be just enough to get this through that. So when you turn it, you know, when we turn this, you can see how we're going to flow, right? So I took a tree that was completely standing up, bent it completely in half, and then twisted it even more just to say I love you. And this probably will be a showpiece at some point, you know, just because of, you know, the amount of bending I just did. Yeah, see, and then bend it out. Yeah, there we go. So you guys can see, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the sweeping motion. It comes up, it's gonna come up right here. It's got that, and then it comes sweeping around like that, sweeping around. You can see it sweeps around right here, and then sweeps around like this. So this is a perfect pot for what I just did. If this thing makes the transplanting, this will be a showstopper. Like, this will be, you know, we'll be putting this in you know, like, we'll be doing bonsai, you know, Rockdale County Fair bonsai competitions here in a minute. I just know you guys. So this was wild collected today. I had, you know, some basic taper roots on it, and it stood straight up. And I said, negative, sir, negative. And I bent it completely in half, and then rotate it around here. So that's the beauty of bonsai, guys. You can be extreme with these things, and if they take it, they take it. If they don't, they don't. You just toss it out with next month's trash. Until next week, man, when we're going to get working on that project, we're going to get working on this guy. This guy needs it. But look at all of these beautiful, all my garbage is around, guys. But just look at absolutely all of these beautiful trees, you know, where you can see all that dead wood and all of these beautiful trees. Just from, you know, that one, I got to stand back up. But, you know, look at this. Let me pick this guy back up real quick. And again, so this guy, you know, we've pulled down all the branches, you know, we've got it all wired up, and we've got our nice peak right here, and it comes down perfect out to here, and it's supported out here. Like, I might cut some of these other branches, but, you know, these things, you know, this is the way it is. And then what I may do is what I did right here. Let's see what I did right here. I may come in right here and wrap all this up and then just bend this like this. So it goes like this and then straight up. So, but it's another project for another day. These things they've got to survive. You know, look at that. Look at all this. I mean, that right there shows a brutal life, man. It shows that it's been beat up. You know, it's got another one down right here. Look at that. Look, all that's been beat up. Down here again. So as this gets fat, all that scarring will be important. You know, so like you look down here, like that right there, that scarring in that tree right there. Look how big this, I mean, it's huge. So, but that scarring right there, as this tree, the bigger this tree gets, the more pronounced that scarring will get. And then obviously we'll get to about here. And then from here, we'll create that canopy off of here. But you can see, you know, how some of these are really just absolutely gorgeous. Like, I just love, look at that, how it comes out right here and it flows up. And then it flows back, right? And then if you kind of step away, you can see how this thing is gonna bush out really nice. So you've got your sections of pads over here. This just needs to get cleaned up a little bit, but you know, and we need to wire this up so that we don't have any branch that crosses like that. Like, I don't know if you can see it. If that branch crosses like that, we cut it. It's got to go. So, or you just wire it, you know, like maybe I just wire it and I want it to come, I don't want to do it without the wire, but let's say I want to push it over here, you know, but I think this is going to make, like you can see right here, this is going to make a really good tree. So, you know, real quick, guys, you know, I've been kind of collecting the tools as I've been going, but these are really good. So like when we get into doing dead wood and stuff, sorry about the flash there. This is good wood carving tools. These are good dead wood carving tools. Dead wood is really important because, again, it's one of those things that's just a natural part of a tree's life cycle. So, you know, for instance, on this, and I can show you. So grabbing this right here, you see that, guys? And then I would come in here, for instance, when we turn that, and I hate to do this, but kind of like, you see how I can just grab and pull, and that scarring as the cat comes in, hey, get so that scarring on that dead wood makes that look super old. So it just adds to it. I only have my one hand, guys, so I'm kind of not doing a great job, but you get the idea. Like, you know, when you're doing bonsai, you're woodworking, so you have to have some woodworking tools, and this bad boy already cut the shit out of me. So as soon as I opened it up, swear my friend saw it, I've got witnesses. So let's put this over here. Another thing I wanted to point out, I found these in one of my old tool boxes, and they're files. And so if I want to file to file some of that with dead wood and really get in there and cause like curvages, like I may come in here and tape this, right? And then I can, once I just start, I can take the files and go in there and carve it out. And so the files were really kind of a neat find. You can see, but this is again where we took this tree that was completely standing up, bent it all the way over, and then brought it back around so that it sits in this. So because this was gonna be such an adventure, I got some, like, and this is what I'll start doing is I'll start see how I've got some moss now in there, and we'll come over here and you can see how I'm gonna put some moss, and these guys are doing great, guys. Look at all of that growth. Look at all of that growth. They are doing absolutely wonderful. So you can see all of that new growth right there. We'll have to clean this out, but in the fall. But you can see like how the trees are all super happy. So let's come over here and ceremonially put some moss in here, and that looks good. Got some moss right there, that'll spread hopefully. We've got some nice moss right here, and that's it, guys. That's my Sunday show. We wired up a couple of trees just so you guys kind of got an idea. Some of them really need some work still, but you can see how these are going to look absolutely spectacular if they survive the transplanting. I'll take some pictures in the sun tomorrow and I'll post them so that y'all can see the major transformation between the two. Until then, guys, you have an absolutely spectacular evening. Thank you for joining me. And if you have a chance, go out there, grab a tree, and start wiring them up. Let's see what you got. Bye, guys.